And you got people coming in this shop sitting on a bucket getting a haircut. And they knew I needed the money to pay the contractor who was working. And as soon as he was finished, I had to pay that man. Didn't have the money on hand, but that clientele was coming.
Welcome to the Learn and Live podcast, where we find entrepreneurs that share tips and ideas on how to become successful. I'm your host, Jeremy Bean, and this is my co-host, Trevon Jamerson. Today, we're here with Justin O'Neill to talk a little bit about his journey on being an entrepreneur. How you doing today, man?
Man, I'm doing all right, man. How y'all guys doing?
We're doing pretty good. First and foremost, I want to ask you a question. You know, a lot of people know I am J24, the barber, but we want to know a little bit more about Justin O'Neill outside the shop.
Yeah, outside the shop, man, I'm pretty much a family man. I got 6 kids, I'm married, and, I'm a natural born hustler, so whether I be in the shop or out of the shop, everything I'm doing, I'm going hard.
Okay. So pretty much we want to know your journey on what it's like being a barber, because I watched a past interview of you, and I know you had some struggles. So could you tell us a little bit about what it was like?
Yeah, I'm originally from Palm Beach County. I moved up here to Winter Haven, to Polk County in 2004 when I graduated high school. And I can't say, man, it was probably one of the roughest journeys for me, having to come to a place where I'm not from and, get to know everybody and try to start a brand in a town where nobody knows your name. So it was real hard, man. I worked job after job and made sacrifice after sacrifice to get to where I am. It was nothing easy about this journey, but along the way I learned so much that I'm grateful to God that I'm sitting here right now with this opportunity to even be interviewed by you guys, man.
So tell me a little about your journey, because I know you didn't just say, hey, I want to be a barber. What made you want to convert over to that?
Okay, I was in school for pharmacy at first. I was very into medicine. I was into it real deep at one point in my life, but I had kids, so as soon as I had my first child, I was like, man, my dad, I don't have a father figure myself, so I had to quit school and everything that I had going on to find a way to provide for my family. So my main goal was to make sure my family was always great. So I gave up pharmacy, and that's when I fell in love with the Clippers. I began cutting any and everybody I could. I wouldn't waste any time. So that's really what motivated me, was when I had kids, it pushed me into wanting to, make more finance and better decisions with what I had going on at the moment for my family's sake.
So when you moved down here, did you jump straight into the barbershop, or did you have trials and tribulations before you got started?
When I moved to Polk, it was slow going. I didn't have many clients, so I worked, a lot of jobs, man. The last job I worked was at Walmart warehouse. I was there for 7 to 9 years, and that was tough, man. I just thank God for change. But yeah, I worked a lot of jobs, man. Just hustling, trying to do any and everything I could to provide for my family.
Okay.
Right. So understanding that, of course, this journey isn't easy. What would you say would be the hardest part of becoming a barber, not just an entrepreneur?
The hardest part, I would say, of becoming a barber would be focusing on just you instead of, you're going to see other barbers that are great and you might not be great just yet. So the hardest part, I would say, would be to just focus on yourself when you see so many other guys around you excelling and they becoming great before you. It's tough to just focus on what you got going on when you feel like your skills don't quite match that of somebody who is very talented.
For sure. And as far as, knowing that there's a lot of different successful journeys out there, what made you pick up the Clippers and nothing else? A lot of people are doing lawn care. We got a lot of car washers out here. We got a lot of barbers too, but why barber?
I chose barbering because it was something that just came natural to me. When I had clippers around me since I was like 12, so it was just something that was very natural. Like, soon as I started doing it, I didn't even have to think much about, what I was doing. I just had to get the repetitions in. And barbering is something that I feel like, man, as a barber, you need to be in tune with the culture and your community and what's going on around you. So I was more driven to that than anything, like being able to help somebody and talk to them about, hey, man, you can keep going and pushing for your goals and it'll happen. I love that opportunity to be able to speak with new people every single day at my business. It's just something that I'll never trade for anything, man.
So pretty much, I know you said that you had got the shop. When I watched your past interview, I know you were saying how you was like cutting hair on the bucket and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Could you explain the journey of like actually when you moved down here to getting the shop open and running?
All right, man. When we first got the shop, man, we had it for like 2 months, but nothing was like ready on the inside. So I knew I had like 60 days to get everything, up and running. And man, I had contractors inside the building every day. And I mean, I was broke. I didn't have no money at the time, but I would pay for the services by, having my clients come in, and I would have this one bucket sitting up by the front door, and I would cut them, get them in, and I service them good and fast as I could because they didn't mind, they didn't care because I was opening the shop. All they knew was I still got to get a haircut from you, so you got to make this happen. So it was very difficult to be like, my business is not open, but I got to be productive enough to run the business and get it open at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Having nobody to coach me and train me through this, it was real tough. But man, I gotta say, my clients, I love them, man. Every one of them. If y'all see this podcast, I love you for real. I might not say it, but they stuck with me through a time that, they could have went anywhere else, man. Anywhere. We didn't even have AC at the time. And you got people coming in this shop sitting on a bucket getting a haircut. And they knew I needed the money to pay the contractor who was working. And as soon as he was finished, I had to pay that man. Didn't have the money on hand, but that clientele was coming in steady, slowly but surely. And I felt like I didn't have, enough clients to start a business with. But man, God is faithful, man. Sure. I had more than I could ever imagine. Now I'm looking up and I'm like overwhelmed. Yeah. It's so many people around, but man, I think about that bucket and I had a little speaker sitting there and nobody complained. Man, I'm talking about these guys wiping sweat in the middle of me cutting their hair, man. Nobody tripping about nothing. So it was just a blessing, man, for me. Some people would have, probably gave up and said, man, this don't look too good. Start from scratch, man. But with pure determination, man, and straight consistency, man, I was able to build my brand into something big. It might not be big to everybody else, but to me, it's everything, man, because it started from nothing, just a thought.
Exactly. So, as speaking, because me and Jeremy speak a lot on, every morning he called me, and we always talking about success and the vision you need to actually get there. Yeah. Knowing that, before we stepped on this podcast, he did tell me you was cutting on a bucket, and I was like, yo, we got to get him on a podcast ASAP because he had a vision, and he kept that vision. You started from a bucket, and you just said, you didn't have any trainers or whatnot, and I know a lot of people you got to get licensed, right? So as far as when you first started cutting, it was just trial and error, and people were just trusting you to cut their hair. It was just like how exactly did that work? Because you had no actual training in it at first.
Yeah, for me, like I said, it was natural. And when I say that, some may not understand, but as soon as I picked up the clippers, it was never, I messed up your haircut, let me get it right. It was one of those situations where I felt like this is what I'm destined to do. I never had a problem with a haircut. It was only learning the difference between curly hair and straight hair. Other than that, every haircut that I did, it was a haircut that client was satisfied with. So, I ain't really have a issue with learning because I was so hungry for it. I tell people all the time, when you're very hungry for something, it's going to come easy because you're going to do the things that it takes to make sure it comes easy to you. So if something seems hard, I always tell my kids, listen, if it's too hard to you, that's because you're not putting forth the right amount of effort. Because I'm a firm believer in whatever you put forth, you're going to get it back. So if you want greatness, your efforts need to be great. That is why, if you go over to IG, my name is IM24J. I'm available 24 hours a day. I don't care what time. Now, the fee going to be different. Yeah. It's going to be different to get me out of my bed at 1 a.m. versus the regular shop hours, but I'm always available. Right. Always. That's just my hustle, man. That's what I'm on.
And a lot of things we talk about is consistency through this whole journey of what you pretty much just told us, that you was consistent and you was faithful about everything. But a lot of people think that you have to have a lot of money to start a business, but it was your hustle that got you, to where you at today. I want to talk a little more about your mindset. Like, was there something like that was motivating you? Like, what were you thinking throughout this whole process? Like, did you want to give up on it, or it was just like, I got to get it?
Well, man, my whole thought process first when we started, man, I got a business partner. His name is Matthew Joseph. He would come to me before we opened the shop. I think it was 3 years he came. He lives in Miami. He would drive up and he would talk to me about it, man. And I was kind of like, no, man, I don't want to do that. I don't know nothing about it. But just speaking to him over and over and him having so much belief in me, it gave me that mindset that I knew, like, man, if he can see it, all I got to do is do it, because he sees it and don't know that I can do it for real. He just believe in what he see. I know on the inside of me, I can do it with everything in me. So my mindset was always in the position to win, and I never thought about, man, I'm going to take a loss doing anything I'm doing. So I was broke, but at the same time, I had so much willpower. Like, my bank account might as well have been on $1 million at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Because if you told me, hey, it's going to cost $500 to get this floor put in or whatever, I was going to make that money right there on the spot. I wasn't going to ask for it or none of that. I was going to make sure I cut hair until I had your money plus some extra for me.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad you spoke about, Matthew giving you the vision and whatnot. So when I speak on a lot of people, when I talk to a lot of people, I tell them imagination is everything.
Yeah.
And, Albert Einstein, again, imagination is everything. It's just a vision that you see, or a vision that he's given to you as far as your life coming to traction. If you can dream it, you can definitely achieve it.
Definitely.
You feel what I'm saying? So as far as giving up and staying motivated, in this journey alone, what was the hardest? Because like you said, you started on the bucket and you still kept going. But what was the hardest? Like, at one point, was there ever a time where it was like, I don't want to do this no more?
I mean, I would say we all have moments where we feel like, you're getting tired. You wanna, sit back and chill. But man, I never had a moment where I thought about stopping my barbering career for anything. I never thought about it because I have children, everybody depending on me. I don't have a father. My mom passed when I was 12, so I knew everything riding on this decision that I made. So it was never a moment where anything felt like, I got to give up or I want to quit. I went through a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm on my second marriage right now, man. I've been divorced. All this stuff happened to me right when I was going to open, the business or whatever. So I never had a moment, not one moment, bro, where I thought I'm going to quit or I'm going to slow down, I'm going to stop. You know what I'm saying? You get tired in this race, but I know in my mind it's a marathon, man. So I'm going to run forever.
You got to. So speaking on not giving up, the trials and tribulations you went through, 2 divorces, you say, 6 kids, no father, no mother.
Yeah.
You have the eagle mentality. They say as far as the eagles, when a storm brews up, all the other birds go hide in the trees and they fly away. When a storm brews up, the eagles flap in their storm and they soar higher than they could ever soar before. They like the fear. They like to see if they can achieve, and they like to see if they can soar higher. So as far as speaking on generational wealth, you have 6 kids. Is there anything else that you're doing outside of barbering that you're going to pass down to your kids, or do you plan on teaching, your sons or whatever, or your daughters, anything about cosmetology?
Yeah. I would prefer that neither one of them ever touched a pair of clippers a day in their life. I did that, and it's my passion, so I would prefer that they find their own lane. But when you're speaking about generational wealth, man, that's everything to me, because I didn't have anybody to leave me anything. So all I really focus on is, the first thing I knew that I had to have was my life insurance. I knew that if something happened to me, my kids shouldn't have to wash a car, sell a cake. None of that should be going on. So I talked to them about, money being a tool. And when I say a tool, I teach them how to use it to where you never need it again in your life. And when I say never need it, you always have it. So it's not something you're in need of because you got it laying right here. You know what I'm saying? So I motivate them in ways to where I let them see that, it's something we use to get what we want. So you really don't want the money. You need food, you need clothes, you know what I'm saying? You need things that's going to help you survive in this lifetime. So I do things right now, like my purchases right now are centered around, okay, my kid's future. I got to think about, if I purchase this, what is it going to look like to my child? You know what I'm saying? If I wanted to get a new car or something, I ain't just getting a new car for no reason. If I do it, it's because I want my kid to see you work hard, you play twice as hard. You know what I'm saying?
So pretty much after the trials and tribulations, as far as getting the shop, you say you was cutting hair on the bucket and stuff.
Yeah.
Now that you got everything up to par as far as the shop, what was next?
For me, I would say what's next is reaching out to the youth for me. My heart's so big to want to help somebody who may be in a position to where they feel nobody want to show them nothing or spend the time to help them. So right now I'm centering like my attention. I'm trying to get on finding those individuals in our community who looking to become something. Even if you don't want to become a barber, we could talk about starting any kind of business. But for me, my next step is to reach like as many kids. Even if you're an adult, man, you want to link up or want to get with me about some things, that's perfectly fine. I'm all about trying to help people. That's my next like journey. If I can't help somebody, I don't really want to be involved with it.
Most definitely, and I'm glad you're moving with a giving motive, because of course we know, like you said, you give, you get back tenfold.
Yeah.
So as far as the community, and of course you have ASAP Fresh, are there any other barbershops you opening? What exactly do you do for the community itself?
So at the moment, right now, I'm not opening any other shops, but what I am doing is I'm providing classes. Today, actually, I have a class. I'm providing someone wants to learn to cut hair. She's very young. She's in high school. So I told her, if you're that serious about it, I'm going to make sure you learn this craft. I'm going to donate my time. It's going to be my free time that I'm going to give to you. So I spend, like right now, my free time I'm spending reaching those kids. Like she reached out to me, let me know she want to do this. So I'm going to give her everything I got. Like today, she's going to learn how to possibly feed her family one day.
Most definitely. So it's definitely not about the money. We're touching the community.
Yeah.
So I know that you say you're starting a class. A lot of people don't know that you have different side hustles. Like you sell cologne, and you also write a clothing line that you just came out with. So I kind of want you to tell them that, like explaining them how important it is to have like different streams of income. Because, the pandemic came around and it shut a lot of shops down. And a lot of people, that was it. They didn't have nothing else. So I want to touch on, like, how could you explain to them how important it is to, expand your business besides just cutting hair?
Yeah, like you said, man, the pandemic shut a lot of people down mentally, I would say. A lot of people, your job, did this, that, but it's that mental state that was shut down, and it was because when you have everything going smooth, nobody thinking about that rainy day, So, but me, I didn't feel, the pandemic didn't shut my mind down. I would say, I was always on the other end of, if this happened, I already got this going and I got to create this to keep it going. So in my mind, it was always something. It's like, man, how can I say, because they told me I got to close the shop down, I can't provide for my family when I've been providing for my family before I opened the shop, you know what I'm saying? So my mindset don't even see a pandemic at all. It sees generational wealth. You know what I'm saying? That's the only picture I got my eye on. So when those kind of things happen, people should realize, like, man, maybe you should not be so lazy when you have good times, you know what I'm saying? So for me, like, a lot of people may not know I'm about to drop a clothing line real soon, or it's going to be online and everything. So I'm going to have a bunch of merchandise and all of that. But it's very important to have those things, Everybody wear clothes. Yeah. And if you are blessed enough, as I have been, to start a brand or start something that people want to get behind, why not start another stream of revenue for your family's sake? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because like you said, it's not about the money for me. I'm not concerned about $1. I could just cut hair to make money all day if I so choose. But me, like, starting another stream of revenue is going to be something for my kids. Like, the day I'm dead and gone, that's something they can keep and take with them forever. Nobody can take it from you.
So I do want to talk a little more about you being an entrepreneur. You open a business, you're the boss and everything. A lot of people think you just come in there and cut hair. I want to know a little bit more about the things that you have to deal with inside the shop, as far as like people being professional, dealing with your client in certain ways, or people might not be doing stuff that you feel like is right for the business. So I want to talk a little more about that. What are some things that you probably experienced in there that's...
Man, day-to-day business down at ASAP, man, I could say this last year, I would say we've gotten it all the way together, man. Me and my crew, we don't come to play. It's a family-oriented business, so everybody on the same page. But you do have riffraff, every now and again, somebody who don't know how you do business. They may come in the door, and you got to be ready to deal with that, man. There's nobody who can come in my business and ruffle my feathers at all, because I know, what I started it for, and I know that this was, like, given to me by God. So you can't take it if you wanted to, man. So every day, coming into work, you have them issues, but I ain't gonna lie, I don't notice none of them, man. My mind's so focused on just being in a positive area. Like my energy got to stay positive that even when you bring the negative to me, man, we're able to smooth it out so good that we don't have any issues, man. Like I said, I love my clientele. I love what we do. But on another note, we do, I do as a business owner, I have, other obligations. I don't just come to work. I don't even think about the haircuts half the time. I got to come in and make sure the building is clean. And with all the COVID stuff going on, I got to sanitize a lot more than what we probably used to, even though we're very clean now. Between every client, you need to be sanitizing and washing your hands and making sure you got your mask and all of that. So as a business owner, man, it ain't just about cutting hair for me. It's so much other stuff that goes into it.
So with also being a business owner, how do you deal with the people that's not like kind of able to pay their booth? How does that go? Are you like helping them promote their business to get more clients? Like what advice would you give to them to kind of expand their hustle and get more people to come in and get their haircut?
My thing down at ASAP, man, boofing really never gonna be an issue because I'm gonna put everything on my back. When you come and you say you're gonna work with us, man, it's really on you, because we done built a atmosphere for you to be able to be successful. So if you don't have the necessary qualities as far as your hustle, you don't want to come to work, or you late, you're not punctual and stuff like that, you're gonna hold yourself up. So I don't have an issue with boofing. We don't even discuss that, man, down at ASAP, because we're more like a family, man. Everybody doing well for themselves, and we so hung up on just the love of what we're doing. The money is not an issue at all, man. That's just a byproduct of doing good business, man.
Right. So speaking on, you stated on, you spoke on energy just then and remaining calm in the midst of this pandemic. Remember, a pandemic causes people to panic, right?
Yeah.
Those that remain calm in a pandemic, they always come up successful.
Yeah.
So just like we spoke on the eagle mentality, as far as, those that were working with you when this pandemic first started, are those people still with you, or did they, were they sweating a little bit and they was like, I gotta find something else, I gotta get more money, what happened with that?
I mean, I had a couple people leave, when the pandemic came or whatever. They had other obligations, and that's understandable. But the ones that stayed, Taryn and Carmen, they're my soldiers. Like when I tell you, that might as well be my blood family. Them right there, they know what's going on. So like you say, that pandemic it's not gonna rock us at all, because it's not about what's going on in the world. It's about you handling what's going on in your personal world. Whatever you, like right around you, that's all you can control. So whatever going on at the White House and all these other places, I can't do nothing about that. But what's going on down at ASAP Fred's Barbershop is under our control. We can take care of all that.
So it's all in the mindset. And we speaking on positive energy, knowing that the energy, a lot of people think that, becoming successful is the hardest part. But I tell people it's not the destination, it's the journey, because to become successful, you have to become somebody. There's always something about yourself that you have to change, or not necessarily change, evolve. You have to evolve. And just like the world, you have to adapt, because those, like when the market crashed, because me, myself, I'm an investor, Jeremy's an investor in the market. When the market crashed, a lot of people lost money.
Yeah.
But those that knew exactly what was happening, the market crashed, and a lot of people, saw opportunities to make money. Yeah. So again, remaining calm during the storm, and, speaking on positive and a negative mindset. As far as that goes, I got caught.
So I know, as far as you said that you got like a clothing line and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What are some other things that you're working on outside of the clothing line, or things that you look to pursue far as future? Are you thinking about opening another shop, or like what's?
For me, man, I don't really. I plan. I'm not gonna say I don't plan, but I always leave room for God to make His impartation on what it is I need to do. Yeah. So I'm always looking for a direction from God to give to me, because I don't wake up and just decide I gotta feel it. If I don't feel it, I'm not even thinking about doing it. So to answer your question right now, all I can tell you is I'm moving forward with positive vibes to start any in-depth I can. Like anything that's going to help somebody else become something great, that's what I'm on. But as right now, I'm fully like, I'm into the clothing line, you know. Shout out to my boy Weird, man, with Crumbs to Crowns. If y'all don't know him, me and him got a lot of work coming up real soon.
Now, far as with the shop and stuff like that, are you planning on like hiring any more people, or you kind of like small with your circle?
I'm very small with my circle because, like I say, we have an atmosphere that I'm gonna protect. But we are hiring. I have 2 positions that I'm looking to fill right now. I'm looking for a nail tech and possibly a hairstylist or another barber. But yeah, we are hiring, and like I said, they don't have to have a bunch of clientele, but they have to have they have to have this mentality. I can't deal with, you know, you not being able to keep up with having your hunger, you know, as heavy as mine. You need to be ready to go every day because you don't have to feed me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be hungry every day. I'm gonna find my own food. So I need individuals like that. If you somebody who you want to sit in the shop all day and wait for clientele, it's not gonna work out. Because for me, I had to get out in the streets. I had to get out and get business cards made, and all this was done with no money.
Yeah.
Like I had to find a way to get the money to do these things. So it wasn't like I just was, you know, woke up and had the money to provide. I had to sit down and make a plan. So anybody who come work with me, you got to be already in that space, or it's gonna be very short lived. If you're not ready to work harder than you have ever worked before, you can't expect to have more money than you ever had. You got to be willing to do what you never did to get, you know what I'm saying, what you never had. So if they don't come ready with that mentality, man, it's not gonna work out good.
Okay, so if a person was watching this interview, a person that wanted to be a barber, would you encourage them to like go straight into open their own shop, or would you encourage them to like kind of go into a different business and kind of get the insight on what it's like and then convert over to open their own shop?
I would say it depends on the individual because me, I went straight into, you know, being a business owner. I didn't have to go work somewhere else to find out how I should handle myself in the business. So some people, they don't possess them qualities where they know, okay, hey, every client that comes in, you need to greet this person. Some people don't know that. So maybe they should go, you know, work somewhere else where the place has good reviews and see how the business moves. But there are individuals who I believe do not need to do that. You are in a position to open that business. You just got to have a little bit more faith in yourself. So I don't say everybody will have to go work somewhere, but the majority of people should go work up under somebody else's supervision who've been doing what you want to do for years before you just jump out there, because you're taking a risk. And if you're not going to back that risk with everything in you, you might want to have another plan.
Most definitely. So as far as you on your personal journey, is there a set goal? Like, is there a destination that you're trying to reach, or you're just going to keep running this path until you can't run it no more?
Man, this thing until the wheels fall off. Like, I ain't doing it for no reason. I can't tell you I'm doing it because I want to own a yacht one day or whatever. If I wake up and I feel I want a yacht, I'm going to go get a yacht. And after that, I'm going to get whatever come next. You know, my hunger just that big is never going to be satisfied. That's something I had since I was very young. I don't satisfy easy. You know what I'm saying? No matter what it is, I want some more of it because we're only here for a short time. Okay. I feel like get whatever you can get times 10 and get it again.
Most definitely.
Well, one thing I do want to ask is that I know in your past interview you said that I guess you had went to like a T Grizzly concert and stuff like that. Could you explain like how was that? Because I know you can tie a lot of stuff to a pair of clippers. There's a lot of things that you can do, you know, kind of besides just cutting hair. Like how was that experience?
Man, it was something that I'll never forget, man. Shout out to my friend T the Barber, man. Y'all go on IG and hit that button, man. Follow my boy, but he showed me things that I would never have imagined being a barber. They had a barber show out in Cali, out in San Jose, California. And, you know, he told me, hey, man, T Grizzly going to be out here, you know. And I'm laughing, looking at him, like, all right, whatever. Maybe he meant some other T Grizzly, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, we there, the show going on. I mean, it's a barber show, but you got tattoo artists there. You know, you got sneakerheads in the building. It's all kind of stuff going on. And then at the end of the night, I hear people screaming. So I'm wondering what's going on there. Lo and behold, T Grizzly guy, he performing, and I'm standing on stage next to this guy, like this man less than 5 feet away from me.
Right.
And I'm looking for my homeboy. I finally seen him. I say, T, you shocked me, man. You shocked me. But yeah, he really showed me that, man. It don't matter, because you cutting hair, you know what I'm saying? You can have whatever you want, If you want to tie anything into, whether it be cutting clippers or you want to be a doctor, lawyer, whatever you want to be, man, all you got to do is have that vision. When you can see it in your mind, after that it's easy. It's like putting Legos together, man.
Most definitely. And as far as you saying, T the Barber not necessarily introduced you to T Grizzly, but took you to basically a convention where you met tattoo artists, you had sneakerheads and whatnot.
Yeah.
As far as speaking on networking, during your journey, are there any people that you lost as far as your networking? Then are there any people that you wish you would have brought along or that stayed along with you? Not necessarily saying names, but
yeah, I know
just speaking on networking and everything.
I mean, everybody that I'm supposed to have, they right here with me.
Most definitely.
If people wanted to be here, they'll be right here.
Right.
So I feel like everything that I need, I have already, and everything that I'm going to need, I know God gonna give it to me. So I haven't lost anybody per se that I even think about, twice, because everybody I need, they right here with me, man.
Yeah, I hear that. So network is definitely more important than just having anybody in your circle.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
I do want to talk a little bit about, you said that you went to Cali and seen the concert. I know a lot of people complain about the pricing, because haircuts typically used to be 20, and it went up to 25 and 35. How do you feel about like that? Because I know up there, their haircuts probably way more expensive than what they charge down here. So how you feel about people saying that you probably don't went up in your prices or anything like that?
I mean, I don't respond. I'm not concerned, because it's just like shoes, clothes, anything you buy, you're going to purchase what you can afford and what you like. So if I'm not for you, I understand that. I'm for someone else. That's cool. I came to this game knowing I'm not going to be able to please everybody. I'm not trying to. But the few faithful ones I have, they're going to get all of me. They're going to get it.
Word bomb.
See, a lot of people fail to realize that, you know your worth.
Yeah.
And you're going to charge what you feel like as far as your worth or whatever like that. But I just don't understand that people they trip about $35, but would rather go spend $40, $50, $100 on a shirt that they probably just going to, one time. Because not only are they paying for the haircut, they also support your business too.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand that. But for any youth or anybody that's watching, what's some things that you would tell them? Some encouraging words.
Man, any young person out there watching, man, you got it on your mind. You want to be an entrepreneur one day. The first thing I would tell you is that you got to believe with everything in you before you make one step. If you got any doubt, don't do it. If you're going to doubt it, don't do it. You count the cost of what you're going to do, but trust me, you got to put everything you got into what it is you're trying to do, or you'll never reap the benefit. The benefits only coming once you done spent everything you got. Then God gonna meet you and He gonna give you the rest of it. But you got to come with everything at first.
And I'm definitely glad you said that, speaking on vision and belief, because I came up with a statement as far as they say sometimes you just have to take the leap of faith.
Yeah.
I tell people sometimes you just got to jump with your eyes closed, because you got people that go parachuting and people that go bungee jumping, not knowing that cord may or may not hold them up, and they still jump. And that got to be the scariest thing in the world. But fear leads you to success. You have to fail, and you have to be fearful. There's one thing of being fearful, but you can also be brave. You can be scared and brave at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So again, sometimes you just got to take that leap of faith, but you got to do it with your eyes closed if you just don't know the direction you have to take. And you just got to know there's something that'll guide you to keep you going.
Most definitely, man.
For real.
And there's also a mindset thing, because a lot of people, you can't doubt yourself before you actually start.
Yeah.
You got to actually believe it and say like, okay, you know what? Once I get this barbershop up and running, it's going to do numbers. I'm going to have the clientele and whatever like that. So I like your consistency and just everything that you had, because a lot of people would have gave up for the situation where you said with the divorce and the kids and stuff like that. So I commend you for that, man. You really doing big things out here. And, as long as you're here, man, you're going to get our support, and we're going to make sure we do whatever we got to do.
Man, speaking on that, but that was my first time at ASAP Fresh. Yesterday, he gave me that camera. I had to tell him, right? I had a line of like this in a long time.
I've been trying to get this man
I had to copy cologne too.
Yeah, man.
But at the end of the day, speaking on consistency, again, Jeremy did just state that you have to have belief before you start. But there's going to be doubt. Don't doubt yourself. In the midst of the journey, you're going to, there's going to be times where you're just going to want to stop. But if you stop, you fail.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you do not fail as long as you keep going. And I try to tell that to everybody. There's never a time where you just stop and win, because it doesn't work like that. If there's something that you really want to do, you have to stay persistent. And again, you have to have, you got to stay faithful in it. And at the end of the day, it'll pay off. It might not. It might take longer than expected. I don't put a date or time on anything that I do, because all I say is in due time, in God's time, and when it's time for me to do it, it's time for me to do it. But at the end of the day, I still get up and I run my race at my own pace. I'm not in competition with nobody but myself. All negative energy towards me, I rebuke it. I get rid of it. My circle has literally shrunken each and every year, and sometimes you got to do that. And a lot of people don't want to become successful due to the fact that they're scared they're going to lose this friend, or this person going to stop talking to them. But at the end of the day, you got to surround yourself in a circle full of winners. Yeah, not everybody in your circle is there to lift you up. Because at the end of the day, people envy. We know that. Again, a lot of these rappers are out here, getting killed. Not even just rappers. A lot of people are getting killed over money and just success alone. But you got to know who to rock with in your circle. And again, all your dreams can't be spoken to the world. Some things you just got to keep to yourself and move in silence. So again, just speaking on consistency and persistency. Persistent, just keep going, man, and don't give up. But, again, if you don't give up, there has to be a time where you just achieve. There's a destination, but as soon as you reach that destination, go a mile further. You hit that other mile, go 2 miles further, and you just got to start doing it like that. But never a time you should give up. I tell people I'm not giving up till I'm 6 feet under. Yeah. Because I grew up. I had both of my parents, but I grew up in a single mother home with, a bunch of girls. So it's like, I'm doing what I got to do to take care of them. At the end of the day, I got to be the man in that. It's like, I can't give up. It was times like, man, I made a post earlier today, man. If it weren't for Jeremy, I wouldn't be here right now, man.
Man, that's real.
Just learn to live, bro. I would not be here. Generational wealth investors would not be invented, because I almost gave up. There's times where, stuff gets really, really hard. And it's just like, man, I don't even want to do this no more. But as soon as you do that, your life becomes miserable. Yeah. Because now you don't have a reason. You basically don't have a reason to live. Now you're just waking up to wake up. Yeah. Those people that wake up, hang over the side of their bed and be like, man, I don't feel like going to work today. But I'm telling you, bro, you do not have a reason. You don't have a why. You have to develop a why, and it has to be strong enough to keep you going. If you have a why that's strong enough to keep you going, there's nothing there to stop you. And just like you said, your why is, you got kids that you want to take care of, and you got a community that you want to show that, man, anybody can do it. And just for me, I tell people, man, a lot of us come from the same areas, might not be the same city or the same high school, but a lot of us come from poverty. A lot of us come from single mother homes. And it gets me, because it's like we envy each other so much. And it's like, why? It's like, bro, if I can do it, you can do it. If ASAP Fresh can be established, anything can be established. So just keep going, bro. And then that's it at the end of the day. Just don't give up. No matter what nobody tell you. If somebody comes at you towards negative energy, rebuke it. I tell Jeremy every day, if somebody come at me early morning, I be up early morning, negative energy, I stop and I pray. I don't want to deal with it. Yeah. Don't want to deal with it. And my day is blissful for the rest of the day. There's never a time where I'm mad. I can't get mad. It's not important, because it'll throw me off my track. You block your blessings by hating on people, by envying people, and by just getting mad. It just makes no sense to me at all.
And I got another question, because I see a lot of entrepreneurs knock people that kind of work those 9-to-5 jobs. Do you feel some type of way about, or have an opinion towards that? Because I try to encourage entrepreneurs that probably don't work their 9-to-5 job, that could be their passion. And if I went to school for 10, 20 years to be a doctor, that's what I'm going to do. So I try to convince them, or I try to tell them that instead of you downing them and making them feel some type of way, why not have them think outside the box and say, okay, you know what, I still can be a doctor, but let me go figure out how I can, get my business and get employees and stuff like that. Like, do you feel some type of way about people like what?
I don't. Everybody had their own position, so I wouldn't even come at nobody because they work in a 9-to-5. I've done that, and I've worked a lot of jobs, and those jobs at that time took care of me and my family. So I would never knock somebody because I'm an entrepreneur, because you working a job, I know you work less hours than me. I'm at my business all day, every day. Like I say, I am 24J. I'm there 6 in the morning. I might be there to 10 and I'm going to go home, come back, but it's all day. You got an 8-hour shift on your job. To me, you might be living good, because you getting the rest. I don't require that much rest, but maybe you do. So the path's different. You might not be able to keep up with how I'm living. And I can't stand how you living, you know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't judge them. I would just, if they my friend, that's what you're doing. I'm going to support that, and you need to do it as much as you can. Don't be lazy with it, you know what I'm saying? I might have that to say, but other than that, man, everybody got a position to play. Everybody.
Right. And I'm glad you spoke on, you just said, you work way more hours than a typical 9-to-5 worker. And a lot of people don't understand that. People think becoming an entrepreneur, I can do exactly what I want to do. It doesn't work like that. You have to put the time, the trial and error to actually get to that point where you can just wake up and be like, oh, I want to fly to an island today. I just want to hop on a plane and go out of the country, whatever it may be. Now, speaking on having a 9-to-5, in the midst of you having, because I know you said, when you started your barbershop, there were times where you had to hustle, you didn't have the money at the time. But did you have a 9-to-5 while you were cutting hair? Or was it just like okay, he said I got to pay for this, so now I got to find out how to get it. I don't got a job type deal.
No, so I'm going to walk you through my day. At the time, I worked at Walmart warehouse. So I would have to go to work there 3 a.m. Then I would get off from Walmart warehouse. I would hold a sign for an apartment complex that was, getting people to move in. I would hold a sign for them for maybe an hour or two a day, and then I would go home. And then I would cut hair, all night long. So that was, the strategy for me. I did work a 9-to-5 while trying to get my dream off the ground. So I was never in a position of not working and just, being a business owner until now. This the last 6 years, I haven't had a job. All I'm doing is what I'm doing. But I had a job the entire time I was trying to get that business up. I was working my job and I was doing other side hustles, whatever I could to get my finances up, man, to make sure once we flew. Ain't no crashing. We just gonna go.
I like to see that was the perfect answer and exactly what I was looking for, because some people think, I got a 9-to-5. A lot of people work all day or whatever, go home, I'm tired, go to sleep, and then they just wake up, miserable each and every day. You said, you working 3 o'clock in the morning, getting off and holding up a sign. Nobody wants to go outside, hold up a sign, flip a sign or whatever in the hot sun all day. But you did it. And still, you did what you had to do to, you use that 9-to-5 to fuel your business. Now you're an entrepreneur, you're successful, and basically you can do whatever you want to do. A lot of people don't understand that, but a lot of people think, I can just quit my job and I can do what I do. If that was the case, Jeremy, he would have been quit his job. I quit my job, but it doesn't work like that. I still work a 9-to-5. He's still working 9-to-5. But at the end of the day, we're using all of our money as investments. People are wasting their money. I tell people I invest before I spend. Now I will skip a bill to invest in something I feel is is going to put twice, 3 times the money in my pocket because I have belief in it. And at the end of the day, if it doesn't work, I still didn't fail. It was something I tried, but I just keep going and I keep going and I keep going. At the end of the day, I'm going to be successful one day. I'm already successful because success, a lot of people determine success as money. It's not a monetary thing. It's not financial, none of that. Being successful is, Bob Proctor, I don't know if you know who Bob Proctor is, but Bob Proctor states that being successful is not a financial gain. It's more so having a dream or a goal and waking up each and every day and persistently going towards that goal, because at the end of the day, one day you have to do it. And that one day, all it takes is one day.
That's it.
It just takes one day, and that one day will change your entire life. It might take a bunch of years, but it takes that one day to change your life. And I try to just drill that in people's head, like, man, at the end of the day, I don't care what you don't slump around. You tired, you're not tired. You just think you tired. Get up and, if you got a dream, your dream, if you're tired, it's because your dream and your why is not fueling you. You don't got that energy. That's all it is. So you're not tired. You just don't have a reason to keep going. You don't have a reason to get up out of the slump that you in. So that was a perfect answer. Jeremy, you got anything else? Any other questions you want to say or whatever it may be?
Nah, man, that's pretty much it. I do want to say you got an amazing story, and a lot of people should look at this interview and see, like, there's nothing that you can't do, no matter how hard things may get or how bad you want to feel. That it's always that light at the end of the tunnel. Do you got any other people you want to shout out your social media and stuff like that?
No, man, y'all just go follow me on IG, man. I am 24J_, man. Hit that book button whenever you get time, and I promise you're going to be blessed, man.
Best haircut you ever get. You going out that night, you need a haircut. That's a long step where you got to go, bro. I'm telling you.
Yes, sir.
Two-stop shop. That's all it is.
Well, man, we really appreciate you, man, for coming out interviewing. This was fun.
Yeah,
A little
man.
nerve wracking for the first 5 years, but
Yeah.
we gonna get it right, man. But all right, man, that's pretty much it, man. Y'all go follow Jay on social media and also follow me and also the Learn to Live page at Learn to Live 863. And then my Instagram name is KASPAA_.
Y'all can follow me at gwi.tre, gwi.trade.
All right, man, that's pretty much it. We out.